Its ropes bear some resemblance to hangman's nooses. Makes sense for a town like this. A mailbox? Not sure. It looks strange. I'm not going into the police station. I would risk being taken in for questioning, and they could be conspiring with Hatur. I have no reason to go that way. It's a narrow, shady street that leads somewhere uphill. It's a long road that follows the river uphill and into the forest. I'm not going. I don't know where it would take me. Ivan Kotar, born in 1159, died in 1218. It's locked. There's a time and place to talk to him. This is not one of them. I have nothing to do in there. I'm sinless. It's an embalmed priest. Decapitated. His head is laying on a golden plate.
The Vatican declared him a traitor, an ally of the evil forces. Can you imagine that?
Father Henry?
Henry Istrator, and you are?
Benedict.
A fellow man of the cloth, certainly.
What gave me away?
Your aura. And of course, the tiny crosses on your sleeves. You were saying your name?
Benedict Dochnani.
Ah, Victoria's brother. We finally meet. What can I do for you, Brother Benedict?
I came here to ask you about Arsen and your dispute with him.
Dispute? I don't want to talk about it. Not before I get comfortable with you. Let's talk about other things for now.
You met my sister?
Did I meet her? Who knows? Do I know of her? Yes, as every person, crow, and rat in this town.
But how do you know we are relatives?
I have infinite power, and am highly respected. When word spreads, it reaches my ears first.
I have a theory of what happened here, but I'd like to know more so that I can solidify it. You know much. Maybe you can help me.
I'm here for you, brother.
What can you tell me about the mayor of Sveti Kotar?
Ranko Merzel, a lurid creature,
Far worse than his father ever was. Corrupt, full of sin, and unscrupulous. Gullible as well. He never saw his death coming, even though he knew he was chased by it. I was called to bless his soul before the funeral. Not going to. The very thought of it sickens me.
Who was Ranko's father?
Fran Merzel. He and our former priest, Yakov, founded Maraf Asylum.
I welcomed the decision, but not anymore. Things changed quickly, and the asylum mutated into the same thing it originally tried to uproot.
And what would that be?
Maraf became an island of terror and death for the Catholic community, instead of being a shield that protects it. It was founded with the goal to heal the unfaithful ones, and more importantly, to identify, catch, and execute the Saborans. Now it's a place where our brothers and sisters go and never return from. Healthy individuals full of faith just vanish.
Fran had his share of sins, but he founded Marov with sincere intentions to help the town. Little did he know at the time the evil seeds he had planted.
Ranko was chased by death?
Nermin, his brother, the worst of the Merzel family, worst of all men, an incarnation of evil. Although coming from a Catholic family, from the day of his birth, it was clear there was something dreadfully wrong with him. I don't know him well, nobody does, but everyone knows about his deeds.
Chief Noren said he is a moon ghoul.
True, he is a Saboran. Some say even the current leader of their cult. He was once incarcerated in the asylum, but managed to escape. No one can find him anymore. I guess there is not enough will. It's not about the will to find Nermin. He's just a tiny shadow in a starless sky. People in this town dread things they cannot see or feel. The unknowable. They fear it because it is everywhere God is not.
You're talking about the moon ghouls now, right?
That is just a name for the weak. Call them by their true name, the Saborans. The Saborans are not unknowable. They are an ancient tribe that glorifies death, diseases, and pain. Cannibals who cultivate morbid rituals as part of their religion. Sekvra.
Sekvra? I've heard that name before, somewhere.
You heard it because there was a book of the same name, the original copy of which was lost in the 15th century.
Yes, it all happened during the Valais witch trials.
Dark times fell upon that place because of the book. It vanished with its author, a witch by the name of Jadwiga Mazrak. You can see the Saborans are not a complete mystery. Things we cannot possibly understand are, my brother, the forces and entities this tribe worships. Only madness and death await those who manage to understand. It is what happened to Ivan Kotar, after all. Let's leave this subject. I cannot possibly recount centuries of their history in the reasonable time I have now. Maybe one day you'll be able to read the pamphlet I've written on them. Maybe.
Tell me about the asylum's warden.
Hatur. As the head of the asylum, I know he is somehow involved in the conspiracy against the Catholics. I'm the only person in this town who openly criticizes him, the chief, and the mayor. In one way or another, they are all acting against God, and possibly fallen under the influence of the Saborans. What interests you about him?
My sister's husband went missing after visiting him at the lodge.
Nikolai. He was kidnapped. But I feel there is more you want to say.
Victoria met with Hatur last night. They talked and I still can't understand what happened to her.
So I was right. This sheds new light on the Warden and the tribe, not so much on her.
You think my sister joined the tribe?
I do, although I don't know how. Have you seen any changes in her lately?
That is a question for her husband. After our father disappeared, I went into monkhood. Since then, I barely see her.
When things start to look bad, some people think it's God's fault. Instead of showing him more love, they turn away from him. They don't realize it is only then, when they decide to forget him, that they start to wither their own souls. Sometimes they don't just wither, but rot. Rot until it is too late to get off the path that leads to hell.
The Warden is meeting with the Saborans. A boy told me.
What boy?
Anton. He saw them meeting more than once.
Our protege. I knew he had been sneaking out, just couldn't prove it.
He saw Hatur taking Nikolai away to a locality called Klek.
I've never visited that hill, but everyone knows what that place is. The boy could be right.
Victoria abandoned God. I can feel it in my heart. She did it. The same happens to our aunt. She abandoned God, turned her faith to strange beliefs, and experienced a dreadful death.
It doesn't matter what you feel and what I believe. You have to find the whole truth. It is your responsibility. Find your sister and the truth that is hiding with her. I would risk going to the stake if I had to choose whether she is guilty or not. This town has many possible sources of evil.
Where should I look for her?
Begin with Klek. You might find her there with your brother-in-law, hopefully still alive.
What other sources of evil?
Everyone, including those who impose the so-called law. Everyone could be evil, even those who claim to be faithful. Keep your eyes open.
How come there's nothing in the Vatican's official archives about Sveti Kotar?
Because of Ivan Kotar. This town has an open dispute with the Vatican because of him. First, they sent emissaries to execute him. Then they denied the authorities to name this town in his honor. We did what was right, named him a patron saint. The Vatican is run by a mass of hypocrites.
It's the Holy See we are talking about here. There's nothing closer to God.
Nothing closer to God? Just because they said so centuries again? How can they ignore what Kotar did here? Maybe they are now aware of their own mistakes from the past, but have done absolutely nothing to mend them.
You cannot question their decisions. It's like questioning the Bible.
Brother, let's agree we don't agree and leave it there. We have other things to worry about right now.
I've never heard of a priest talking about the church in this way. Unacceptable. But this, along with other things I've learned until now, might be enough information for Father Imre. What about your dispute with Arsen?
Where did you meet that fool?
He's my only chance to get across the lake, and
You need his boat to get to Klek. So why didn't he give it to you? He doesn't need it. He's dying due to that vampire of his.
his parents are inside the boat. Did you exhume them?
Of course I didn't. I ordered the gravekeeper to do it. Arsen and his family are not welcome here anymore. The man is not evil, merely a fool who let evil do upon him.
What vampire?
Didn't you talk to him?
I did.
And you didn't notice that hideous dark thing on his neck?
No.
That fool got himself a parasitic giant worm, a leech he named Hem.
That's disgusting. But what is the reason you banned him?
I'm telling you, it's Hem. That thing was born and found deep inside the Carcassa forest. It's evil.
Can't he just get rid of it?
Arsen believes Hem was sent to him from God. Can you believe it? He gave it a name and looks to it as his own child.
So what now? Anywhere else I could get a boat?
He is your only chance. And it seems like you are his only chance as well, if it's not too late.
What do you mean?
If he accepts to kill Hem, I promise I will think about reintegrating him and his family into our church again. But I need proof. I need to see Hem dead.
How do you expect him to kill the thing he sees as his own child?
That is the tricky part. I already tried to persuade him. Now it's your turn. If you succeed, you will get what you want.
You will just think about reintegrating him, or you will do it?
I'll do it.
Immediately after I give you a dead Hem.
I promise.
It's me again. I talked to Henry about the dispute.
And? Is he going to remove the ban?
What is the reason he banned you in the first place?
I don't know.
Could you please step outside so I can see you better?
No. It's safer in here.
May I come in then?
You are not family.
Henry is willing to unban you.
Is he? Really?
Yes, I will tell you all about our conversation, but you have to come outside. Step outside, please.
We talked before and you didn't ask me that. Why is it so important now?
Henry gave me something for you. I want to see you under the light while giving it to you.
I don't see the point, but if it's going to save my family... Now, what do you have to show me?
God, that leech thing on his neck is hideous. That is Hem. I never imagined a leech could get so big. Henry was right. The vampire thing is sucking the life out of this poor, naive man. I have to persuade him to give it to me. Arsen, we have to talk about your child.
You stay away from him. Is this why you wanted me out here? Stay away.
Calm down. I'm not going to do anything to him. I promise.
What do you want then?
Where did you find Hem?
I didn't find him. He found me. Years ago, I helped a young detective with a case he was working on. He then showed gratitude by giving me a bucket full of leeches. And there he was. My little Hem. I'm so proud of him. He has grown much since that day. God bless that detective.
It was Detective Mostov?
I believe that was his name. Martin. Why?
Just curious. How did you help him?
We went on a tour of the lake. I showed him some places, but he was mostly interested in the island of the asylum.
Did he say why he was interested in the island?
Something about a runaway. I don't know.
Henry told me Hem was born in the Carcassa forest.
That doesn't mean he is evil. Henry thinks anything that grows or lives in that forest must be tainted.
And so out of all the leeches you had, you picked the exact one that became Hem.
He picked me. He crawled his way out of the bucket, moved onto my left hand, and then all the way up to my neck. His favorite spot, where he sleeps and eats.
How's your health?
Are you a doctor now?
I've noticed you have trouble breathing, and your skin has no color. Have you had this problem for a long time?
I don't know what you are talking about. I feel fine.
Didn't you say before you are too weak to board the boat?
The love of my child gives me strength and positivity. But I would feel better if I was allowed to attend masses again. And if my house would be blessed as it was before the ban.
I have an idea how we can solve your dispute with Henry.
I'm listening.
You have to give me Hem.
What? Forget it! Stay away!
Remember, I'm in the service of God. You have my word, I won't hurt your child.
He will die without my blood!
No, he won't, and you know that. How long do you think he can live without you? And be honest with me, it's your family at stake here.
Maybe just for one night.
This is the only way to get you absolved, but I need guidance from you.
What guidance?
And you have to keep our little secret to yourself.
I don't like this.
The plan is to find a leech similar to your Hem. For that to work, I'd need your guidance. Where can I find one?
Why do you need him then?
So I can compare him to his potential clone. Henry seems like a clever man, and surely he remembers Hem's appearance very well.
My dear child in the hands of a stranger. I can't do this.
As soon as I find his double, I will return Hem safely to you.
And then what?
I will bring the double to Henry, claiming it's Hem. All you will have to do from then on is hide Hem when you are near Henry.
You intend to lie to a man of God?
It's for a greater good. God will understand. Do you want to live?
If I die, Hem dies. I cannot let that happen. Your proposal seems like the only way out of this situation. My dear child, please forgive me. Do not fret. We'll meet again soon. Go now, in the hands of this monk. Farewell. I'll wait for you here. The house is lonely without you.
Don't be sad. You did what had to be done.
God bless him.
Where can I find his double?
I've never been inside the forest, but Ida told me once she found a place full of leeches. I believe it's where the detective found him. You must go through the wall of crosses and turn left at the crossroads. His brothers and sisters should be there, where Holly meets Hannah.
Hannah is the river?
It is. Keep him safe and get him back as soon as possible.
I will.
Let me say it again. Beware of the forest. It's easy to get lost in that malignant place.
What should I do now? Should I kill Hem? Or find his double and kill it instead? Whatever I decide, God will understand. Dark times require immoral acts. Excuse me. Those shrubs look poisonous. I'm staying away from it. Excuse me. Which path should I take? I think this is the place Arsene told me about. It's swarming with leeches. How am I going to find one similar enough to him? They all look the same. Right. By concentrating only on the biggest ones. I don't know. Something is off with this one. Hideous. It's laying eggs right now. It has a nasty scar. This is not the one. Looks similar enough, but maybe I should look at others before choosing. It has a nasty scar. This is not the one. The size fits. This is the one. No need to search further. Excuse me. Excuse.
Of course.
He doesn't want this thing alive. Only dead. Hem doesn't deserve the honor of dying in the house of God. I should do it someplace else. I won't execute this vile thing here. Not in his house. Evil! Meet this weapon of faith! It's dead. I should give it to Henry now. Hem is dead.
Proof?
Stabbed to death.
Are you sure this is him?
Arson killed it in front of my eyes.
How did you manage to persuade that old fool?
Does it really matter now? It's done. The thing is rotting in hell.
Right. I have no reason to doubt the word of a fellow man of the cloth. You can go tell Arson I will come to visit him soon. His house needs to be blessed.
I will. God bless you.
Take the boat. Row towards the truth, brother. I'll keep you in my prayers and hope we'll meet again soon.
It's done. I gave Henry a dead leech from the forest. Here, take him back.
My child! Oh, how I've missed him. God bless you.
You are no longer banned from the church. Henry said he'll come by soon to bless your house.
Wonderful news. I am so grateful, stranger.
Don't forget to hide Hem from Henry and other people. You'll get yourself expelled again if you don't.
I already have an idea where I'll keep him safe. You did your part. No need to worry about me. And I did my part too. I moved my parents out of the boat and into my house, just temporarily, until I can move them back to their grave. Take the boat now.
How can I find Click?
Get to the other side and then follow the shore. Once you get there, you'll know it. You really can't miss the 3 white fingers.
The boat is here, but they left. It might be too late, but I have to try. I have to get on top of that hill. God help me. Now more than ever. Click. Crows. They are everywhere. At least a dozen circling above these finger-like rocks. I should try to find some clues where Kotar might have taken Nikolai, as quickly as possible. This rock looks like an altar. Blood. Lots of blood here. Drag marks in the blood, splattered to the right of the rock. Seven symbols, marks, or something else. Whatever it is, it symbolizes something malevolent. Three triangles with a line down the middle. It's the same symbol we saw on the balcony door. Visibility is extremely low, but the various protrusions seem to be full of some kind of... I see bones and flesh, piles of human remains. Stories of children being eaten on this hill might be true. Now smaller drops. Very hard to spot. They lead towards those small rocks. Now smaller drops. I'm struggling to notice anything here, but those look like bloody fingerprints. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Footprints and marks of a body being dragged into the woods. Was Nikolai sacrificed here? I have no choice. I must follow the clues. Footprints and marks of a body being dragged into the woods. Was Nikolai sacrificed? Blood has led me here, to a watermill deep inside the woods. And I was followed the whole time. I I can hear something. A very faint sound coming from down there. A small window is hidden behind this bush. That's Nikolai. He's either unconscious or dead. That massive pendulum is about to slice him in two. Nikolai! Wake up, Nikolai! Nothing. He's not moving. This mechanism is making the pendulum swing. There's no other explanation. I should try to stop the wheels, but I'd need something long and strong enough to do that. If I didn't come here, thoughts like this would never cross my mind. More blood. Wherever I go in this place, all I see is blood and death. Human skin. I still can't fathom the hate and cruelty shared among God's creations. I can't open it. The doorknob is missing. It's not going... I think I'm going to throw up. But this stake could be what I need for the mechanism of the wheel. This is a nightmare. It is massive, but I think I'll manage to carry it for this short distance. You're alive!
Benedict? Come downstairs. Quickly!
Come here. I'm too weak to...
Sharp enough to split a hair in two. I dare not imagine getting in the way of its swing.
How did you find me? I thought you already left town.
You can thank God for that.
There's no time. We must get out of here. I don't know where Kotar is, but I fear he... No, not anymore. Please.
I'm everywhere. I see and hear everything.
Your body is yellow because of the robe, but you have a face.
My face is a mask.
Someone told me moon ghouls have yellow bodies and shadows instead of faces. So what are you?
I am the king. You, that worm at your feet, the child on the pier. You all are slaves to Kasag.
What do you want?
Where is Nermin?
I don't know that man.
More importantly, where is the book?
What book?
Get down. Crawl like a worm. Start praying to that god of yours.
Please. We only want Victoria.
You wouldn't be here if that was the case. Facing the final moments of your existence. Tell me where Nerman is, and your agony will be brief. Give me the book, and your soul will be left to wander free. Don't do it, and you will be tortured until the last drop of blood has left your body. You will be then sent to Achrizath to serve Kasag.
I know you talked to Victoria last night.
She was asked the same questions, and she refused to talk, just like the two of you. Things would have been different for everyone if she did her part.
What part? We came in this town to find...
It hurts, I know. You should blame her.
Didn't you hear the chief of police? Victoria and Nermin have disappeared.
Noren is insignificant. A blind follower of that god of yours. You know exactly where they are hiding.
I don't know what book you're talking about. Nikolai, do you?
The Sekfra. I already told him. I don't know anything about it.
The long-lost occult book.
The original was destroyed by the Inquisition.
It was, until a new one was written, enriched with secrets beyond your earthly realm, and more powerful than your silly little Bible. You know where it is, and you know what will happen if you don't give it to me. I'm giving you the last chance to speak up. And don't try to escape. Give up the book, or tell me where it is.
I should do something, but what? God help me! I have your book.
You worthless being! You will regret... Mitvare! Kortsi! Achliza! Twitch!
Help me tie him up.
Kasag sees you! He knows what you did!
Let's get out of here. There's another lever at the top of the stairs.
Remember, there can be only one God.
Mitvare Kortsi, Mitvare Kortsi, Mitvare Kortsi, Mitvare Kortsi, Mitvare Kortsi, Mitvare.
I can't see a thing. It looks bottomless. Nothing in this pocket, and nothing in here. Wait, interesting. A key. Maybe we'll need it.
Good idea to search him. Let's leave this place. Now.
Are you sure about this?
If I have to choose between two nightmares, I'll take the one in my head. You should get some rest too.
I'm going to lay on the couch downstairs. Not really. As soon as he falls asleep, I'm getting out of here.
When I close my eyes, I can still see the pendulum getting closer with each breath.
What happened in the lodge?
It was that detective. He deceived us. He pushed us into this trap. Thank God we split. We would have been both dead by now if we had.
How did Kotar manage to take you away?
I don't know. He just appeared in front of my eyes. And then everything went dark. From then on, my mind kept phasing in and out, so... I don't remember much. Until I was awakened by these appalling screams. He was skinning a man. Alive. Impaled on a stake.
Who was that skinned man?
During one of the conscious phases, I remember seeing him in the boat. He had no skin on his face, and no eyes. It was impossible to know his identity. He was a living corpse.
What happened in the watermill?
I don't want to talk about it.
You are drained of energy. Your face is ghastly pale and you barely talk. But you don't seem physically injured, so what happened?
I'm not certain we killed him, Benedict. Can death die?
You heard his screams at the end. That man is no longer part of this reality.
I think he cursed me. He said so many words in an ancient language, and then with every word that came out, there was a weight inside. It was becoming heavier, unpleasant, until unbearable. He was trying to curse my soul, Benedict. He wanted me to let it go.
You are here. You survived. Calm down now. No need to talk about it anymore. There should be no more doubt, even for you. Victoria is involved in the horrors of this place.
She's not. You heard Hatur. He said that she was asked the same questions about Nerman in a book, which means she was captured and tortured too.
That man was lying, and he never said she was tortured, just that he asked her the same questions. Why did she rent the house for 3 nights? We were supposed to leave together immediately the next day.
I don't know. She just said to me we were going to stay more. I thought she was just joking. You know her.
No, I don't know her. Not anymore. It was Lucia, the owner of this cozy house, who told me it was rented for that long. Why would she stay this long? And without telling us, if not for obscure intentions?
She's not guilty, Benedict. For God's sake, it's your sister we're talking about.
Did you know that Victoria and Hatur had a friendly conversation in the woods last night?
Who told you that?
Madame Vera, the neighbor.
In the woods?
I went in there and found fresh footprints near a mass of human remains. Can you explain that?
It could have been someone else, or that neighbor is lying.
Remember what Mostov said before letting us go? Hatur was looking for Victoria last night, before the incident at the castle.
I don't believe anyone. She had nothing to do with those atrocities.
To sum up, and please don't interrupt me. Victoria and Nerman disfigured the mayor to worship a malignant deity. I'm getting sick just by saying this, but the mayor was Nerman's father, so you can imagine what kind of monster he is. She dragged me into this town claiming that we would be staying just 1 night, but she actually rented the house for 3 nights. Did she plan to sacrifice me to her new master? Maybe even the both of us. Hatur knew her, a man who called himself the king of a cannibal tribe. Maybe she has that book he was looking for. Maybe she just didn't want to tell him where Nerman is. All I know, a man that evil would have killed her in the woods if they didn't have a mutual agenda. Victoria left God and became what our parents feared she could be. She murdered that man in the Carcassa forest, and she murdered her unborn child.
She did not. Our child is not dead.
I already saw that in our family. Victoria became what our parents feared she could become. our aunt.
She never told me anything bad about your aunt.
She murdered her unborn child too.
Murdered? That's impossible. Victoria would never have kept such a secret from me.
Nikolai, she kept her mouth shut because she's afraid of becoming just like our aunt.
Enough. Leave. You can say whatever you want. I know my wife is just a victim in this story. She's a good person.
You should rest now. But first, let me just ask you...
Why did you choose to stay? You don't care about your sister. Even less about me.
To find the truth. It's my responsibility to know what happened and to understand why she did it. Victoria became what our father hated. I want to know why.
Well, it couldn't be simpler. The truth is right in front of you. You're just too blind to see it. What was that you wanted to ask me?
In the watermill. You said to Kotar you came into this town to find something. What exactly? Kotar said Kasag knows what you did. What did he mean by that? Don't answer. I just wanted to see your face while asking. I'll find the truth eventually. I should pay a visit to Mostov. He has a lot to explain and surely knows more about what's going on. It's a risk going there after what happened to Kotar. And there's still the chance they could take me in. But I think I'm out of options.